Recording has started.
Chair LaHood, would you like to introduce the meeting?
Sure. This is the.
Hang on. Member Wong, can you speak into the microphone so we can hear you?
Hello, this is Member Wong.
Okay.
This is Chair LaHood.
Okay. Victor, could you hear our two members?
Yes, I can hear them.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, this is the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force Compliance and Amendments Committee meeting. We are starting at 4:39 p.m. This is the Compliance and Amendments Committee meeting. For remote public comment via video conference, the password is sunshine. The link is https://bit.ly/3zfw The public comment call-in number is 14156550001. Meeting ID 24968331652 ##. Press *3 to enter the speaker line. It's April 25th, 2023. We're getting started it's 4:40 p.m. Meeting decorum. Any member of the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force may call for decorum due to the disorderly conduct of meeting participants. Persons who engage in threatening and or menacing behavior may be asked to leave. Ms. Lachey, please call the first item.
Item number 1, call to order, roll call, and agenda changes. Roll call. Member Wolf? Member Wolf not present. Member Wong?
Present.
Member Wong present. Chair LaHood?
Present.
Chair LaHood present. We have a quorum. Agenda changes.
We have a few agenda changes. Ms. Lachey, can you tell us which item that there was a request to hear later in the hearing that will be moving further down?
Yes, item number 4, file number 22113. This is a complaint filed by an anonymous complainant against Virginia Donahoe and the Department of Animal Care and Control for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 6726 and 6727. The petitioner has requested that their case be heard after 6:15 in the evening.
Okay, what we're going to do is move that item after the current number 7, file number 23001. So we will be moving 22113 to follow 23001. And then we're going to have another change to the agenda, and that is item number 8 regarding the committee reviewing Articles 1 and 2 of the Sunshine Ordinance. We are going to hold that until our June meeting. So if anyone came specifically for that item, we're going to continue that to the June meeting. Okay, any other changes that we need to make?
I'm not aware of any. Member Wong?
None.
Please call the next item.
Item number 2, approval of the February 21, 2023 Compliance and Amendments Committee meeting minutes.
Okay. Do we have any changes to these minutes? I took a look at them. Member Wong?
A couple of things. So on agenda item 2, I think we actually, in the motion, we motioned to approve with the additional context that was provided, I think by myself and Member Wolf.
Hey, I'm not hearing you. You need to speak.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So agenda item 2, the motion on that item doesn't include in the motion that we approve with additional context.
Approved with suggested edits. Do you want to?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I think I'll give you a sec to take the notes.
Okay, you have other comments?
Yeah, agenda item 5, the motion actually should have included move to close the file as well.
It's been so long since I've.
So it is on page.
You feel
4.
that this case should have been moved to be closed? It was referred to
So-
EOT.
Yeah, but we closed the file on our side as well. So we closed the file and then
It's different activity.
yeah.
So do you think there should have been an additional motion to
No,
close the file?
I think so. It said the way it had been stated, I think, in the meeting was that CNA committee is satisfied with the outcomes of the monitoring of this complaint, comma, move to close the file or end determination, and comma, move to close the file, and the committee refers the Behavioral Health Commission to the EOTC. And then in the second to last line in that motion, I think it should be ensuring instead of assuring. So ENSUR.
Construction ensuring?
Yeah. hmm
Okay, other changes?
Last one, agenda item 6. I think there was actually public comment, but I didn't catch the name of who it was.
All right.
And that's it for me.
All right, I will listen to the tape. And do you want to move to approve these with edits, or do you want to have it moved to the next CAC meeting?
I'd say it's up to the chair. I would say at least for agenda item 5, it's probably substantive. So
Yeah, maybe we should move to. I'd like to get public comment on this because there are people who probably came to give comment on this.
Yeah, if there are any members of the public who'd like to make public comment, you can press *3 on your phone.
Yeah.
Or otherwise use the application to raise your hand to indicate that you'd like to make public comment. I'll give everyone a few moments to raise their hand if they want to make public comment.
Before we do that, I would like to make I'd like to make a motion that we take. I'd like to make a motion that we take public. That I'd like to make a motion that we move approval of this to our next CAC meeting, but that we take public comment based on the current version of the minutes and the suggested changes.
Approval for the next compliance meeting, and I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
And that we take public comment or approval to the next compliance meeting, and we take public comment on the assumption that we will, on the minutes with the suggested changes from member 1.
I will second that.
Okay, if anybody would like to make public comment, you can raise your hand. I'd like to indicate that member Wolf has now joined us. If anyone would like to make public comment, you can raise your hand. I have one hand raised. I will unmute them at this time.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. I think that I'm here, or I was summoned to this
Which item are you here for?
it says 5, file number 23018.
Oh, yes, I see your name. Thank you very much. We will go ahead and call you when we get your item. At this time, we're just taking general public comment. Would you like to make any general public comment?
On the minutes.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what the process is. I just showed up.
Okay, I will unmute you once we get to your item. Thank you very much for announcing
okay.
yourself.
Okay.
We have no public comment for the minutes at this time.
Okay, Member Wolf, since you just joined us, we have some suggestions for edits from Member Wong that are, and one or two are substantive, so we're actually going to approve them at our next meeting. Did you have any other comments on the minutes?
I do not.
Okay.
I need the time that Member Wolf made his appearance.
Member Wolf, what time did you join the meeting?
I'd say about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, I noted
4:46.
4:47.
Okay. Let me take a vote on this. Are we ready for a vote?
Yes, and could you just read the motion to be clear that we're not voting to approve, but that we're voting on a motion that we plan to approve at the next meeting pending the edits suggested by Member Wong.
Okay, let me tell you what I have. Moved by Chair LaHood, seconded by Member Wong.
I can simplify that motion. The
Okay.
matter is to be continued to the next meeting with proposed amendments.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. New text of the motion, moved by Chair LaHood, seconded by Member Wong, that the matter be scheduled to the next Compliance and Amendments Committee meeting with proposed amendments.
Thank you.
Okay. Chair LaHood.
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Member Wong.
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Member Wolf.
Aye.
Member Wolf, aye.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, item number 3, public comment. Members of the public may address the committee on matters that are within the committee's jurisdiction, but not on today's agenda.
Yes, if there's any members of the public who would like to make general public comment at this time, you can use the application to raise your hand, and if you're calling in, you can press *3 to indicate you'd like to make public comment at this time. I'll give everyone a few moments to raise their hand if they'd like to make public comment. I see no indications for public comment on this matter.
Okay, Ms. Leger, please call the next item. Oh, and just to let Member Wolf know, we are hearing file number 22113 after 23001.
You're hearing. Oh, okay, no problem.
All
So,
right.
which is the first item that's going to be heard then?
Item number 5.
File number.
Okay,
5.
got it. I'm there.
Okay, great. So call on item number 5?
Yes, please. call
Okay.
it.
Item number 5, file number 23018, complaint filed by Rollo Ampu against the fire department for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 6721 by failing to respond to a request for public records in a timely and/or complete manner.
Do we have the petitioner here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And do we have the respondent here? Yes, okay. So here's what we're going to do. This is a hearing to determine jurisdiction on the complaint, and if we find jurisdiction, to make sure that we have the materials needed to send this case to the full task force. I would like to ask the petitioner to present for their case for 5 minutes. We'll give the respondent 5 minutes to respond, and then we will continue after that with some discussion. Before you start speaking, Ms. Leger is going to set a timer and she'll let you know when the timer starts. And then she'll let you know 30 seconds before your time is up.
Actually, when it's 30 seconds is left, the time that's remaining, there will be a tone.
Oh,
And
a new system.
there's a tone. And so you don't have to worry about, just listen for the tone at what you think is 30 seconds because it's actually pretty loud. Okay?
All right.
Sir, are you ready to begin?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
I didn't hear the tone. Okay, so like on July 7th of last year, there was a fire in the building that I live in, and there was a fire department response, and I spoke to the chief around like what was the cause of the fire, and I tried to follow up to get more information with regards to that, and I think what I wound up doing was filing to get a copy of the fire report of the incident. And so it like took I think it wasn't until I contacted the Sunshine Ordinance that I get a response, like maybe like about 6 months later. And the report that I got didn't have any information. I was told by the person in the fire incident report department or whatever that the report would redact any information that I guess was a HIPAA violation, and so the report that I got was like bare bones and had no information whatsoever. Like I think it said. I actually don't have a copy, but I'm sure you guys probably have a copy of it. Or I think I forwarded it on to the Sunshine Ordinance Department. But yeah, so I don't know. It just felt just wrong, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's typical, and that's pretty much all I have to really say.
Thank you for your comments. So if you are you ceding the rest of your time then?
Yeah, I don't have any additional information to offer.
Okay. Thank you. So
Thank
we
you.
are, and stay on the line because we're going to come back with some questions for you. Now we're going to hear from the respondents.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Chad Law. I'm the assistant.
Just like,
Ooh,
your name again?
Chad Law, CHADLAW.
Great. Okay. We ready to begin with the respondent? Okay.
Great, thank you. I'm the assistant fire marshal for San Francisco Fire Department. I oversee I'm the custodian of records only for the fire incident reports and fire investigation reports. So on this one, for this incident, we don't create my section or the Bureau of Fire Investigation does not create the reports. We basically look them up and disseminate them. For this case, we were contacted on August 16th for an email. And Charlie Zen, who's the admin analyst who handles this, he responded the same day, mentioned to the complainant that the case was not, there was no report written. So in our section, we don't write the reports. It's fire suppression, and it's the incident commander, the firefighters, the officers, whoever's deemed responsible for that incident. So we can't really send it out if it's not completed. So so that was on August 16th, 2022. And then on September 1st, 2022, the incident number was requested by the complainant and Charlie Zen, the fire department personnel, and gave him the incident number. So these are same day responses. And then we keep checking to see if the report's completed. The report was finally completed by the field meaning suppression units on March 1st, 2023, and we sent it out on March 2nd, 2023, the next day. So in our section, we are not responsible to actually create the report or write it. So when it comes in, because of the different watches, different officers, it takes time. So we are not responsible for that part of it, for the custodian of records. We basically look it up, see if it's completed. It was completed, and we sent it out. And that's my summary.
Okay, thank you. Members, do you have questions for the petitioner or respondent?
This is Member Wong. Question for the respondent. I'm curious, was there a response sent to the petitioner before the report was made?
Yes, emails were sent back and forth.
Okay. And then do you know like approximately how often you were kind of updating him? Because, you know, July to March is quite a long time.
So yeah, so the incident happened in July. We found out in August, and then repeat the question. Actually, I'm sorry.
No
I
problem.
was just looking at my sheet, got distracted.
Was wondering, you know, approximately how often you were corresponding to let him know, and in terms of like checking up on the report, just because July to March is quite a long time.
It is a long time. Yeah, we don't have a specific time or protocol on keep checking on the reports. Basically, we're notified when the NFIRS is completed. So we don't actually typically go back and forth with the respondent. But when he did inquire, we responded right away. So it's not in our standard operating procedures to kind of check every 10 days, every 20 days. We're just notified when it's completed. And that's really not in our control. It's in fire suppression's control, not the administrative part.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Chair, so when the request was made and you replied that the report hadn't been completed, did you let the fire suppression, is that the correct way? Did you let them know that there had been a request for this report?
No, that is also not in our protocol. Nope.
So they are working on their own timeline.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not part of your procedure to let them know that someone has made a request.
Correct. Yeah, because there's 300 a day, really, incident reports, and whether we don't really track whether they complete them or not. That's more of a different section of our fire department, and that would be handled through the chief's office. Whether they have the officers fill out the report in a timely manner or whatever, but for us, we don't do that typically because of the numbers.
And do you know how long it typically takes to complete reports? Like as a civilian, I'm a little surprised that months went by before an incident report was completed, because how do they know that they have tracked what they witnessed at that time?
Yeah, honestly, these reports are the National Incident Fire Reporting System, and they're very general. So, and they take every incident is completely different. And I couldn't speak for the suppression or the officer why they took so long or did not take long. Yeah, that is not part of our custodian of records.
I have a question.
Yes, Member Wolf, please.
Also, I'm wondering if your microphone is turned on, because it's a little hard to hear you. So a question for the respondent for the fire department. Is there anything to prohibit releasing any information regarding the incident before the report is finished?
Policing the report or redacting it, you mean?
Well,
Or
whatever.
limiting
I mean, the requester has not received any information over that period of time, except maybe some communications from you. But if the incident report was in process and there was some work done on it.
I'm sorry, I have to step out 1 second. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. If there was some work done on it and information that could be disclosed. I mean, it's not just about records. Sunshine isn't just about records, it's about information.
Correct.
And a request can be made verbally and the response can be given verbally. So I, just wondering if there was any attempt to get any information for the requester, considering it happened in in their own home.
Yes, no. I would say it's just not our standard operating procedure to reach out to the field and inquire about it. We review different reports before we release them. This one was not a fire investigation report, so there's no criminal or civil investigation for our Bureau of Fire Investigation. So it really is just a general report, and we didn't have information on it. We simply look up in the computer, and if we had information, we would have given it to them. It just was not inputted in the computer.
So let me ask
It's more of a higher level kind of fire department, not in our section, not part of my jurisdiction, I guess I would say.
I'm not following you. So your department cannot speak a representative of the entire fire department, including the chief?
My section cannot, correct. So, a person, a complainant, could contact the chief's office directly as they manage the entire fire department and inquire about this that's taking longer than expected for this complainant. So that's something.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, that's not that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just find it a little odd that if you are the public information or the custodian of records and you're responding, do all sunshine requests come through your office?
No, not the medical. John Tucker is our fire department representative who handles all medical records or anything that have to do with ambulances or incidents like that. Ours are basically just the general NFIRS one. And if it was a fire investigation report with our investigators, that's when it would be on our section of custodian of records and the Bureau of Fire Investigation to actually have it in a timely manner, make sure we coordinate. We don't have the information that's out in the field, meaning the rest of the fire department.
But if a request were to come in for that information and it was, does that request go through you first?
It goes through, yes, it goes through us, and we basically deliver it when we receive the reports. We don't we don't follow up, or we would be doing it about 300 times a day if we knew.
And once you do that, did you notify the requester that
yes
procedure had been done?
Yes.
Did you provide the requester with contact information?
We just updated the requester when the report was done and how the process works. Basically what I'm saying right now is we don't have control over when the report is completed in the firehouses. We have 43 firehouses, so yeah, 300 something calls a day. We don't have the staffing to actually follow up on each call.
No, I get that.
Yeah. Okay.
I get that, but did you provide them with any assistance to be able to
Yes.
talk with someone who may have that information?
I think they have he's on the line, but he's emailed about 5 times and we've responded with assistance every time. 6 times. And 6 different times. Yeah.
I'm asking something very specific. Did you provide him with assistance to be able to get in touch with somebody who has the information that he's requesting?
No, that is not actually in our protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. The other question I have is there any part of this particular kind of incident report that is not disclosable?
Everything that's in the report has been released.
Okay.
So whatever the officer felt they had to put in there due to our standards and protocols, he put in here. He put what was required. So he completed the report. I mean, we do get comments all the time. It's not detailed enough, and but it is actually a complete NFIRS report through the National Fire Incident Response System. It might not be what a person wants because they want certain things, for insurance or whatever, but it's completed and we send it off. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
So
Yeah.
I have a couple of follow-up questions. Based on what the petitioner asked for, it was your understanding that he was asking you from the report that your department would be able to send out when it was received.
Correct.
If he had asked you for medical information, would you have redirected him?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So at any point did you ask him, or at any point did you ask him if he needed anything other than the specific report that he was asking you for?
He never brought it up,
Okay.
so we didn't bring it up.
Okay.
He basically wanted the report, requested it, didn't really. I can't speak for my admin analyst, but speaking with him this afternoon, he was like, he just wants the report.
So he was asking for a specific document.
He just wanted the fire department report. He didn't ask to talk to the officer on scene. He didn't ask for it to be expedited. He didn't ask for it. He didn't ask for more actions. We basically answered all his questions.
I wasn't actually aware that I had that was an option. I assumed that the narrative from the officer on scene would be in the report. Is there something else I should have asked for? And can I still ask for those things?
I'm going to ask that question for you because.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was going to ask you, so you actually answered one of my questions, but I'm going to ask the respondent now. Is it clear anywhere on your website where that additional information may be available from other sources, or how would someone know?
It's very clear on the website how to obtain the NFIRS and how to obtain a fire investigator report. It doesn't give the option to say if you don't like this report and want it rewritten. Like, we don't have a minimum narrative or anything like that. The National Fire Incident Response System does not require it. So to complete the report, so it's a nationwide system, and you wouldn't be able to push complete if you left some areas blank. It basically allows you to complete the report. So what you have is what you have, but there's a separate pathway to, I don't know if to get more information, but that's not my section. That would be something to contact the chief of the department and say, I received the NFIRS. Can I get more of a description on it?
Okay.
Because that's not addressing the issue or the hearing part where we took a delay. Now we've moved on to this report is not what I want. Makes
Right.
sense.
So I'm looking at the report that I believe you sent to the petitioner. It's in our document. It's on page 21, and as you described, it's very bare bones.
Vague. Yep.
So what you're saying is there most likely is additional information about this incident within the department, but that the petitioner would need to contact.
Yes. Yes, they would contact the chief's office. You can call 558-3300 if you want, and specifically ask, if you want the first report to be more thorough or something like that. But that's something we don't deal with people writing reports and what they're putting in it. It's a totally separate section of the fire department. We're administration, they're in the field. I don't know what they're doing out there actually. So if you do want more information, I would call their general main line, or you can call me and I can try and connect you with someone. But I've never had that request personally to have an NFIRS be more thorough or rewritten. Once it's completed, and we've sent it out, thousands of them. So but we're totally here to help.
So I'd actually like to ask the committee members about this. What do you have additional questions, or are you ready for a discussion amongst ourselves?
I have one additional
Please go
question,
ahead.
and I'm ready.
Okay.
Just last question for the respondent. You mentioned that there are different departments that provide or create public records or have information that your department's not privy to. Is there a public way is there a way for the public to be able to make requests to those departments that is noted on your website or elsewhere?
No, we are. So I guess what I say, we're in different sections. We don't write the reports, we release them, and when they're, we process them and all that stuff.
Right.
So the other section is if you're wishing to contact the people who initiate and create the reports
Yes.
for the content.
Yes.
That would be something the chief's office would have to handle, because that would be really you going into a firehouse, talking into, and it's a whole new level of inquiry, but it's something that's feasible but you need to go through the chain of command, because I'm not sure, honestly, on the process on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's
Okay.
it.
Members, what are your thoughts on this?
This is Member Wong. I think it's pretty clear we have jurisdiction. So I would say that's number one. This one is very tough for me because timely is difficult, because that's not in the power of the custodian of records,
Right.
as is being told to us. And then in complete manner, same thing. My recommendation would possibly be, because I think we're seeing that more assistance could have been provided, even if it's not asked for, it still can be. But certainly if it is asked for, then that makes sense as well. So I would potentially recommend forwarding to the full task force, finding jurisdiction, and then potentially finding a violation of 6725C for not suggesting alternative sources for information. I think, oh wait, no, that's not the right. Let me look it up.
Okay.
I think there's, oh, go ahead, Member Wolf.
Yeah, I would just want to, actually I have one additional question for the petitioner that I think would help.
Sure. Petitioner available now again?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, so was there anyone else in the fire department that you've contacted to try and get this information?
I spoke to officers at the scene, and I think I was initially told to contact the chief. And I think I can't remember like the whole paper trail. I know that I spoke to a number of individuals at fire incident reports. Like I called and emailed. So like I think in August is like when I first tried to contact them.
Okay, was it by voice, by phone, or by email?
I did a combination. I did both. I can't remember the exact sequence. I'm sorry. It was last year.
I have it right here if you want.
Oh, you cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So emails between the complainant and there's actually only one person you spoke to. It's Charlie Zen. He's the only person that does it.
Okay.
Yeah. So August 16th, 2022, you emailed.
Was that submitted in the record? Do we know if it's in?
Which record are we talking about?
The Sunshine Arts, our file.
Yours. Oh, yeah. So I don't know that.
Because if it's not, then we request that it be included.
Yeah. So I have more dates too, if you need them.
Okay. If it wasn't part of your submission, then I would go ahead and submit, because that should be part of the record. And also for the petitioner, if you have any additional documents, because our job here is to try and make sure there's enough information and evidence for the task force to be able to, kind of know what's going on.
I have a quick question if you have this in your records. Did you receive a letter from the fire marshal?
I believe I did see one in there. Let me see if
It was addressed to Chair Yankee.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So a lot of that, if that's submitted, has the emails and the times and what the complainant was asking. I can read it all off if you want.
No, it's not necessary.
Oh, okay.
That was a helpful summary.
Yeah.
What Member Wolf is asking for is the underlying emails.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there's also one on on August 16th, just like the complainant said, he phone called and emailed and requested an update, and And our admin, Charlie Zen, responded and let him know that we were still waiting for it to be completed. So that's August 16th. On September 1st, he requested, the complainant requested a case number. So Charlie provided that the same day, and it's all in the, actually what you recorded, all the emails are actually included in the fire marshal's letter. And then on March 1st, the report was written with our records, and then on March 2nd, we sent it to the requester. So that's basically, and a lot of times, to be honest, we do get the request and then people don't follow up and we just don't know. So he followed up, or actually it just came about in March.
Can I?
Yeah.
Does the Sunshine Ordinance Committee have the date that I submitted? I think it was either complaint or a request, because I think there was some correspondence between the date that the Sunshine Ordinance required for the report to be released and when it was actually released. But I think y'all should have maybe a record of that, I believe.
Yes. So if the record, I think the thing we're grappling with here is, when did the record exist?
Yeah.
Because we know that you had to wait a long time. And based on what we're hearing today, it sounds like once the department that receives the records and responds to requests received the record, they sent it to you immediately. So it seems as though that happened appropriately. What we're discussing is whether you should have been offered additional information or assistance about what other information you might be able to receive, since that report was not yet available.
Right. Because I think something that occurs to me is that the report that I got, my impression was that it was written to meet the date. And so it perhaps didn't exist prior to that, or maybe there's another copy that has information in it, because it looks like it just says, here's a report. Like, it doesn't actually say anything that happened. And I don't know. So if it was written in that moment, does whoever wrote it, if it's the officer on scene, how could they possibly recall what happened in July and March?
Because we actually, just let you know, we write every incident in a journal in red ink for 100 years. So it's in a journal entry. So if someone does forget the incident, they write notes on it. So whatever was in that is basically, and you're right, it might not have been created.
I guess my question is whether or not, because I didn't realize these options for alternate to get more information. Is the officer likely to be able to recall what happened in July?
That would be a separate track.
So here's what I'm thinking. These are all very interesting questions. And since this is a preliminary hearing to determine jurisdiction, I think these questions are getting more into the details that we would discuss with the full task force.
I'm sorry.
No apologies. I'm just trying to explain I'm trying to help explain the process.
Yes.
So it sounds, and thank you to both the petitioner and the respondent for being here today and helping give us the information that we need to be able to share with the full task force.
Can I do a quick comment?
Sure.
We don't have any other records on incidents, really.
In your department?
In our department.
Right.
It's either the M1 and then the journal. Yep. Unless there's a full investigation, like a crime has been committed.
What would happen if someone asked you for the journal entry related to one of these reports? What would you do?
I believe we Xerox it and send it.
And would you do that, or would you contact someone else and say, this person needs this?
It would be a whole different,
Okay.
A different team.
Okay.
We don't step foot in firehouses. We're kind of a different building. But yeah, that's so for fire department records, I've been in 25 years. That's basically how we keep them. Write them in journals and then fill out that computer form.
Okay.
So there's nothing else. There's no other reports that were created by the fire department.
Thank you. Members, it sounds like, as Member Wong said, it seems that we have jurisdiction, and it seems that there may be an opportunity here to talk about
what additional assistance, I think, as Member Wong said, might have been offered, and perhaps this is an opportunity for us to make some suggestions to the department, because often people come looking for information and they don't know what's available, and they think they're looking for one thing, but really what they need is a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know what else we could offer information wise besides what's in the report and documented or not documented. It would be basically talking to someone and then interviewing firefighters, and that's a whole new,
another layer of activity.
it's a big layer. Yeah, totally.
So, Member Wong, you look like you were about to say something.
Yeah, so I found the section that I was looking for, which is 6721C.
Mhm.
Custodian of any public record, when not in possession of the record requested, shall assist the requester in directing a request to the proper office or staff person. So I think in this case, you know, the petitioner could have been put in touch with the fire chief, you know, and
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know if the fire chief would do anything. I'm
Okay.
just, you know what I mean? Like I could offer something, but it would be it could have offered it, but it could be non-existent as well. But we always say contact the chief's office if you have anything else besides what we're supposed to do here. And that's what we did. So
So, would we like to make a motion here?
yeah, I can make a motion. So I will make a motion to find jurisdiction in this matter and to forward to the full task force.
Do we want to stay with a recommendation to look at 6721C?
Yeah, I was going to say with a recommendation to find violation of 6721C for failing to assist the requester and directing the request to the proper staff person.
Records of public.
Yes, thank you.
Was there a second?
We're looking for one.
Oh, I'll second it.
Okay.
I just want to maybe I want to discuss a particular point.
Okay.
I'm deeply concerned about their process, that the custodian of records for the entire department doesn't have access to other areas, or as they call it, sections of the department. The request was made by the requester to the fire department. The public doesn't know how its infrastructure works, and it doesn't really matter. It's up to whoever is assigned to the request to carry it forward and to get and find that information. They actually become the kind of the evidence gatherer, maybe not an investigator, but at least, you know, evidence gatherer, so that the request could be completed in a timely manner. So I don't know if that's something that we might want to put into as far as a part of the, you know, part of the motion, or as part of the report, or I'm happy to bring it up at you know, when it comes to the task force. But I think it's worth noting that this is something that is kind of, you know, in a kind of a different process that we've heard before.
Member Wolf, I think it would be good to bring it up at the hearing, whether it's you or Member Wong or I, depending on who's there when the case is heard. I agree with you. I think this is a situation where we're asking members of the public to know more than most of them are going to know. And maybe it's an opportunity to create sort of an index of, you're asking for this is what's available, and these are other related pieces of information that you can find from other sources.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, again, thank you to both the petitioner and the respondent for being here. We would like to open this motion up for public comment before we take a vote.
If there's any members of the public who'd like to make public comment at this time, if you're on the telephone, you can press *3 to indicate you'd like to make public comment. If you're on the application WebEx, you can use the application to raise your hand to indicate you'd like to make public comment. I'll give everyone a few moments to raise their hand if they'd like to make comment. I'm not seeing any other indications of public comment at this time.
Okay, Ms. Leger, please call the roll or the vote.
Member Wong.
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Member Wolf.
Aye.
Member Wolf, aye. Chair LaHood.
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Moved by Member Wong, seconded by Member Wolf, to find that there is jurisdiction, the records are public, and to forward the matter to the task force with a recommendation to find a violation of 6721 C as in cat for failing to assist the requester and directing the requester to the proper staff person.
Thank you. And I would like to recommend to both parties before this comes to the full task force, if there are underlying, the summary letter from the chief was great. It made it easy to navigate what's going on. We would like to see the actual emails as well. If you could have those added to the case, just because in case questions come up among task force members, I think it'll save you some time and energy in the long run if those can just be appended to the case file.
Okay. Great.
So,
Is there a transcript of the phone call?
you're asking, let me ask, are phone calls transcribed or they're no? So that is not something that's available.
Like the emails are, oh, I think the emails are already in what the fire marshal submitted.
So the
packet.
emails
Yeah.
from August 16th, you know, maybe I was confused because I was searching for Zen, which I'm not finding in here. And he was the one who you said sent the emails.
Yeah, but did the fire marshal just send? He actually gave me the packet with the stuff he submitted, and he has it numbered. So I assumed it included all the emails to Cheryl Ledger and all that. But we'll include it. Sounds good.
Okay.
If it's not in there.
Thank you. I'm not
Yep.
seeing it, but maybe Ms. Leger, we could look again too. I'm not seeing
Okay.
Mr. Zen's name anywhere in here except in that letter.
Can I forward it to you, or how does that work?
That would be
Awesome.
great.
Great. I will do that.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, what is Mr. Zen's first name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
And it's Zen, Zhen.
Yeah, and I just looked up Charlie spelled Charley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, if you email him, he can probably email you all the directly if you wanted.
Great.
Yes, that?
Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate you being here.
Okay.
And to the petitioner, you'll both hear from Ms. Leger about when this will be scheduled next. And if you have
Great.
any other questions, feel free to reach out to her. She's a great resource.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks.
Chair LaHood,
Yes.
I just want to remind you that I have a hard stop at about 5:45, 5:50.
Yes, we do know that. And also to let you know, we are I told you about moving the one item, and we are postponing item number 8 until June.
Okay, great.
So Ms. Leger, whenever you're ready, let's take the next item.
Item number 6, file number 22125, complaint filed by HV Safe against Rich Hillis and the Planning Commission for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 6721 and 6725 by failing to respond to an immediate disclosure request in a timely and or complete manner.
Okay, do we have the petitioner here for item number 6 on the agenda, which is file number 22125?
Yes,
So this is HV Safe?
yes, it is.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. And do we have someone representing the respondent on the line?
Yes, Laura Lynch from the Planning Department.
Okay, Ms. Lynch, thank you for being here today. What we're going to do, this is, we're here today to determine jurisdiction, and if there's jurisdiction, to find out if we have the information we would need to forward this to the full task force. So what we're going to do is give the petitioner 5 minutes. Ms. Leger will let you know when she's ready with the timer. When you have 30 seconds to go, you'll hear a tone that will let you know. Then you should wrap up your comments. Then we'll give the respondent also 5 minutes, and then we'll have a discussion with the committee members, and we will probably ask questions of both of you. So, Ms. Leger, if you could let the petitioner know when you're ready with the timer, and we'll hear the complaint.
Okay, excuse me, petitioner, do you want to be referred to as HV Safe, or do you have a name that you would prefer to use?
HV.
I heard HV Safe. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback on the line. I don't know if that's on our end or someone else's line.
All right, sir. All right, sir, you have 5 minutes. I will start the clock right now.
I'm good. I believe it's Ms. Lynch's line that's doing that.
Ms. Lynch, could you put your line on mute until it's your time to speak?
Sure. Sorry about that.
Okay, I restarted the clock.
Okay, so Ms. Leger is restarting the clock for the petitioner.
So are you ready?
Yes. I'm with HV Safe, and what our issue is, and I assume this is why we're here tonight, but each time I come before this committee, it's a new lesson. But we're requesting, because we put in our original petitions in August, first one August 24 of 2021, and the second was in September of 2021. We did not receive the documents from the Rich Hillis and the Planning Department until January of this year, 2023. So to us, it seems there's obviously a delay, and feel that it's, what's the reason, or what was the cause?
Would you like to share any additional information about your complaint?
That's pretty much it. To me, it seems like it wasn't responded to in a timely fashion.
Okay, we may come back to you with additional questions. Ms. Lynch, it sounds like the petitioner is ceding the rest of his time to explain, so we're going to have Ms. Leger reset the clock, and she'll let you know. Okay.
Thank you.
Are you ready, Ms. Lynch?
Yes.
There is some humming in your background. Are you on the phone and computer at the same time?
No, I'm only on the computer. I can run and get a headset really quick, though, if that would help.
Yeah, I think it would help with the hearing everything you have to say.
Sure. Give me 1 moment.
Yeah.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I don't have much to add. I think I apologize that the documents were so delayed. The email, we did not receive it. It may have gone to junk, and then that's why we did not respond in a timely manner. As soon as we were contacted by the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force, we got the documents to the requester right away. Again, there's no excuse for the delay in documents, and we apologize for that delay. We are working to remedy that in the future. We are looking into and actually starting to demo next request, so hopefully that way if requests come in, they can come in through that portal and be directed to our shared email address. Again, all documents have been provided now, but we apologize for the delay. And that's all I have.
Thank you. And I did see in the file, so we had copies of the request, and then I did see the response from the department. They acknowledged that they missed it. Actually, I'd like to ask the petitioner, are you unmuted again? Yes. Okay, I can hear you. Have you, we know that there was a delay. Have you at this time received the documents you requested?
We have, but the situation with receiving the documents was, this was an ongoing type of a event that kind of required immediate information. So in doing that, in reading a lot of the documents, a lot of things transpired after our initial request for both the contract and also any emails between the planning department, San Francisco Parks Alliance, and the people who were involved in the judging of the commemoration project.
Okay, yes. Just to be clear, I'm just seeking the information. This is not to say, oh, you've received it, we're done. We do understand that you have a complaint about the timeliness of the response. So, members, do you have questions for the petitioner or the respondent? I'll just add, it does seem that we have jurisdiction. And that the department admits that that the response was not timely, and we understand that it may have been because the email went to a junk folder or was not received. But in situations like this, the department needs to be responsible for reviewing those kinds of folders to make sure that requests are not inadvertently lost. Okay, Member Wolf, are you still on the line? Do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay.
I agree with everything you just said.
Okay. I am going to recommend that, I'm just going to go ahead and make a motion that we forward this to the full task force with that we find that we have jurisdiction in this case, and we believe that there is a violation in terms of not responding in a timely manner. Do I have a second? Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, second from Member Wolf. And Ms. Leger, whenever you're ready, we can open this up for public comment.
If there's anybody on the line who'd like to make public comment, they can line up if they're in the room, or use the application to raise their hand. If you're on the phone, you can press *3 to raise your hand. I'll give everyone a moment. I see no indications for public comment at this time.
Okay, Ms. Leger, please call the vote.
Chair LaHood.
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Member Wolf.
Aye.
Member Wolf, aye. Member Wong.
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Moved by Chair LaHood, seconded by Member Wolf to forward the matter to the task force to find there is jurisdiction and the records are public, and to find a violation for not responding in a timely manner.
Okay, thank you to both the petitioner and the respondent for being here. You'll be hearing from Ms. Leger about when this will be scheduled for to be heard before the full task force. If you have any questions between now and then, please feel free to reach out to her, and she can help you with that. And thanks again for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Please call the next item.
And with that, I will be stepping off.
Member Wolf, we will miss you. We will see you at our next meeting.
Thank you. Good to see you both.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
And everyone.
I have a time of 5:49 for Member Wolf's departure, but that's my computer.
Oh, I have 5:43.
Same.
5:43?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ms. Leger, whenever you're ready, let's call
Item number 7.
item number 7.
Item number 7, file number 23001, complaint filed by Olga Tikhanova against the San Francisco Police Department for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 6725 by failing to respond to an immediate disclosure request in a timely and/or complete manner.
Thank you. Is the petitioner on the line?
If you are on the line, if you can raise your hand, it would be appreciated. If you're on the phone, you can press star 3. If you're on the application, you can use the application to raise your hand. Okay, I'm not getting any other hands, but I'm just going to unmute this one unknown caller just to be sure.
Thank you.
Hello, caller. I've just unmuted. I was wondering which item you're here for. Caller, I've just unmuted you. You're on the they just hung up on me.
Okay. Do we have someone from the police department here for the respondent?
Yes, ma'am. This is Lieutenant Bill Toomey, respondent.
Okay, Lieutenant Toomey, thank you for being here. Mr. Young, do we have anyone else who could possibly be the petitioner in this case, either on the app or on the phone?
We only have one other person with us. That would be Justine. I believe she was here for a different item.
She's here for item 4.
Okay, she's here for, I believe, what's going to be the next item. It's number 4 on the agenda, but we're hearing it after this one. Well, this is unfortunate. Ms. Leger, can you tell us, had you heard from Ms. Tikhanova? Were you expecting her here today?
She didn't respond to the notice of appearance. This is the second time that we've called her case.
Okay.
So I don't know what to say.
Okay, that's unfortunate because we were hoping to hear this one today, and we do have someone here for the respondent. And unfortunately, we only have one more item, which we actually can't hear for a bit. I think, and since this is the second time, oh, do we have someone? No. Someone ducked their head in the room, but they appear to have been in the wrong room. Since this is the second time we've had this petitioner not appear, at the previous time, was any reason given or? Okay. Does this mean that we close? Mr. Young, do we provisionally close the file on this? If we case?
Our standard is when they do not appear without prior notice, we should table the matter, and our standard procedures. For standard procedures, we will contact them, let them know it's been tabled, and that they have 6 days to request that the matter be reopened.
Okay. I don't see anything else to do at this point, which is unfortunate because we do want to give people the opportunity to have their complaints heard. But Ms. Leger, do we need to make a motion on this, or is this okay? I would like to make a motion to table this and contact the petitioner and let her know that she has 60 days to request that this case be heard. Otherwise, it will be closed, as is our standard procedure.
Yeah, that's 60 days per complaint procedure number 7B.
Per complaint procedure 7B. Thank you. Do we have a second on this motion?
Yes, Member Wong, I will second.
Okay. Thank you. We would like to open this up for public comment in case there's anyone there who either is familiar with this matter or would just like to make comment on our procedure.
Okay, we only have one other person on the line with us. If you'd like to make public comment, you can raise your hand at this time.
Chair LaHood, if I may just make a public comment myself on behalf of the police department.
Since you appeared today, since we're not hearing this case, I don't want it really to be about the case, but if it's about our procedures or we appreciate you showing up here.
It is actually about the procedure. Is the 60-day notice, I'm assuming, is from this calling of the item, not the previous calling of the item from the last time it was calendared, I believe,
correct.
in February?
That is correct. 60
Okay.
days from today. So the
Great.
petitioner will be contacted and she will have 60 days to, if we don't hear from her, the matter will be closed. If we hear from her and she says that she would like it to be on a future agenda, then we will put it on a future agenda. It may take more than 60 days to get back on the agenda
Certainly.
because of scheduling. But yes, I'm happy to answer that question.
And I just want to make sure I have that information should she, for some reason, come into contact with us
Yes.
and not the task force. I want to make sure she gets the proper information.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you providing that to her. If you hear from her, if you could direct her back to Ms. Leger, I think that will help us follow our procedures most efficiently.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for being here today.
Not a
Victor,
problem.
Mr. Young, do we have anyone who wants to make public comment on this motion?
We only have one other person on with us, and they are indicated to not being paying attention to us.
Okay.
But if you'd like to make public comment, you can use the application to raise your hand at this time. That person is not raising their hand at this time.
Okay. Ms. Leger, I think we're ready to call the vote on this.
Chair LaHood?
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Member Wong?
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Member Wolf, absent. Moved by Chair LaHood, seconded by Member Wong. To table the matter, contact the petitioner and inform her that she has 60 days to respond to my email per the complaint procedure 7B.
Okay. Thank you again to the police department for sending a representative. We will let you know if this case comes up again. Otherwise, that's it for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Leger, so I know the next item we have is on the agenda as number 4, which we moved after this item. But that you had previously said that the petitioner had some time constraints and asked that this be heard after 6:15.
That is correct.
That is 23 minutes from now.
In fact, I think I have her email.
We can call item 8 and 9 now.
So
Take care of those items.
So item 8, we decided to continue to the next meeting, but yes, let's call item number 9. And hang on one moment.
But we need to take action to continue it officially. For item 8, we need a motion to continue it to the June meeting. You're already done so.
Forgive me. I believe we did that when we discussed agenda changes. Actually, Ms. Leger, did we?
I don't believe you took a vote on it at that time.
Okay, then let's take a vote. Okay, if Ms. Leger, if you could read item number 8, and I will make a motion to continue that to the next committee meeting.
Item number 8, committee members will review Articles 1 and 2 of the Sunshine Ordinance and discuss possible amendments to recommend to the task force. Recommendations proposed by members of the public at previous committee meetings will be taken into consideration.
Okay, this is Chair LaHood. I'd like to make a motion that we continue this item to our next Compliance and Amendments Committee meeting, which will be in June.
This is Member Wong. I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment on this motion?
If you'd like to make public comment on this item, you can press *3 to raise your hand. or otherwise use the application to raise your hand. I will give everyone a few moments to do so if they would like to make public comment. I'm not seeing indications of requests for public comment. I believe we can close public comment on item number 8.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Leger, could we call the vote on the motion?
Chair LaHood.
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Member Wong.
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Member Wolf, absent. Moved by Chair LaHood, seconded by Member Wong to continue the item to the next Compliance and Amendments Committee hearing set for June 2023.
Thank you. Let's call item number 9.
Item number 9, announcements, comments, questions, and future agenda items by members of the Compliance and Amendments Committee.
Member Wong, do you have any announcements?
I don't. I'm wondering, because I don't think we talked on the record about the plan for agenda item 8. I know we can't address it specifically, but for the future agenda item, making sure that the packet includes information from.
Yes, actually. So agenda item number 8, which we will hear at the June CAC Compliance and Amendments Committee hearing, will include the links that we have here, which was the summary of proposals by members of the public at previous committee meetings, and the actual language of the Sunshine Ordinance. And we're asking Ms. Leger to also include, I'm going to say, any documents submitted by members of the public related to our previous discussions about amending the Sunshine Ordinance. I'm thinking of one in particular, but I believe we received several, so we might as well include all of them so that they're part of this item, and so that it'll be easy for committee members and members of the public to refer to those without having to go back to previous agendas. I would be happy to help locate those as well. I know that reviewing possible amendments is going to be a big project, and I know it's going to take us several months. So I'm looking forward to getting that started in June. Do we have any other announcements, comments, questions, or future agenda items, or should we open this up for public comment? Even though there's nobody here in the room with us, we're a little bit lonely. If anybody's listening to this, come to our meetings. Mr. Young, do we have anyone who'd like to make public comment on this brief discussion?
We do have one, but just to make the announcement first, if you'd like to make public comment on this matter, you can raise your hand by using the application. I'm going to go ahead and unmute our caller.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Great. It's David Pilpel. I actually called in for item 8, but it sounds like you just continued that. Was there any discussion about it, or were you just chatting now about how to structure a future discussion at the next meeting?
There was no discussion about it. We decided to postpone it to our June meeting.
Okay. That's cool. So just a couple of quick thoughts. In addition to any written submissions that you've received or may receive prior to the June meeting, if it's possible to both cull the notes from prior discussions, not from 10 or 20 years ago, but let's say in the last 6 months or so, when it's been discussed previously at this committee or at the full task force, wherever it's been discussed, and any salient points that various members of the public have made, because I definitely heard some interesting ideas. I don't know if any of them came from me, but definitely from others, and gave me some things to think about. so that's number one, if it's possible to create that kind of a document. Not nearly as long and detailed as Member Stein's proposed annual report, but something for folks to think about and chew on. And then my other suggestion, and I would put this out to any of you, and if I have time in the next 2 months, I will try to take a stab at it, is to maybe form some provocative questions about particular provisions and whether it makes sense to strengthen, to weaken, or to leave the provision about the same. So, for example, would one want to treat all policy bodies in the city, whether they're charter boards and commissions or ordinance bodies, the same way for purpose of minutes? So the minutes in, I think, 67.16 requires a specified format, but it only applies to charter boards and commissions. Another example, the requirements for department head calendars, I think it's 67.29-6, applies to certain elected officials and department heads and specifies the content of their calendars, but it only requires disclosure upon request 3 days later. Is that the right group of folks that are captured? Is that the right description of calendar entries? Should it be posted on the web? Redaction be specified more specifically under certain circumstances, et cetera. So those are just two examples, but if you go through all the substantive provisions, it kind of lends itself to asking those kinds of provocative questions, and that may be some stuff for all of us to think about. Anyway, I hope that helps.
Thank you for your comments. Without going into detail, I wanted to point out that there is a link in this item to what was sort of a summary of proposals. It doesn't go into all of the who said what details, but there is a summary of the various proposals that came from public discussions. And we will also be attaching further underlying documents so that anyone who wants to participate in this discussion will have easy access to that information.
Thanks very much. I hope I'm not the only person in the future.
We want you to have company. So right now it is 6:01 p.m. The last case we're going to be hearing for anyone who's on the line who missed that we at the very beginning of the meeting moved item number 4, which is file number 22113, to later in the meeting. At this point, this is the only thing left that we have on our agenda. And the petitioner will be available at 6:15. I'm going to recommend that we take a brief break now and come back at 6:15. My only concern is, why don't we come back at like 6:12, just so if the petitioner comes back and hears an empty line, there's not any concern that we have adjourned the meeting. So maybe a few minutes before 6:15, we will come back. In the meantime, anyone who's on the line, you're welcome to take a break, and we will be back at 6:12.
Victor?
Remember, we're still being recorded.
Being recorded. Mr. Young, it is 6:12. Do we have any parties?
Do we need to call?
Let's go ahead about reconvene first.
Yes. Should I do that? This is the Compliance and Amendments Committee of the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force. We just took a brief break. We are reconvening. Ms. Leger, if you could please call roll again. I know we have some people on the line and they may want to know who is participating in this meeting.
Member Wong.
Present.
Member Wong present. Chair LaHood.
Present.
Chair LaHood present. We have a quorum.
And do we need to call Member Wolf even though we know he's not here?
Yes. Member Wolf is no longer participating in this hearing.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Young, do we have the petitioner for what was on the agenda as item number 4? Has that person appeared either on the app or on the phone?
Yes, they have. If we can call item 4 officially, please.
Okay. Ms. Leger, please call item number 4.
Sure, just a second. Item number 4, file number 22113, complaint filed by Anonymous against Virginia Donahue and the Department of Animal Care and Control for allegedly violating Administrative Code Sections 6726 and 6727.
Thank you. Could we please hear from the petitioner? I want to make sure that we can hear you on the line.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Okay, and do we have the respondent or another representative from Animal Care and Control?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
And can I get your name, please?
My name is Justine. I'm the custodian of records for Animal Care and Control.
Justine Alberto, is that what you said your name was?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do here, this is a preliminary hearing to determine jurisdiction and to see if we do find jurisdiction that to make sure that we have information we need around this case in order to forward it to the full task force. What we're going to do is give the petitioner 5 minutes to speak and then give the respondent 5 minutes to speak. And then members of the committee may have questions for both of you. We'll have a brief discussion and decide what to do next. Ms. Leger will let you know when she's ready with the timer. Now that we're back here, we are back here at City Hall, there is a tone that will go off when you've got 30 seconds to go. So you'll hear that tone and know that you should wrap up your comments. So Ms. Leger, whenever you're ready, please let the petitioner know and she can begin discussing her complaint.
Anonymous, are you ready to begin?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Thank you, members of the committee, for taking the time to hear my complaint. First, contrary to what it says in the summary, I filed this complaint on October 5th of 2022. And if you look at page 5, part 1 of your packet, you can see the email that I sent about it, requesting that a complaint be opened. So I had filed an IDR for Prop G calendars on Sunday, September 25th, 2022, and the respondent had failed to provide all of the Prop G calendars for the dates that I had requested. The respondent had promised to provide the rest of the calendars for those dates on September 30th. As a courtesy, I waited until after September 30th, and then I filed this complaint. I believe that there is a clear timeliness violation here, as well as failure to provide the requested calendar of a department head and failure to keep withholding to a minimum. The respondent provided the rest of the records only after I had filed this complaint. As I said, I filed the complaint on October 5th, having waited as a courtesy long past the 24-hour response time that an IDR requires. I filed my complaint at 8 a.m. that day, and the respondent provided the rest of the records on the same day at 4:55 p.m. I appreciate that the respondent eventually fulfilled her obligations. However, members of the public should not have to resort to filing complaints in order to obtain the public records that they have requested. The request in of itself should be sufficient. I have no obligation to repeatedly remind custodians of records of their duties under sunshine, yet I have been repeatedly forced to do so, and I can only imagine the experience of other members of the public who may have even less experience and less knowledge of the law than I do, and I am not an expert by any means. So I hope the task force will find a violation here in order to set the tone for future IDR requests and for Prop G calendar requests for the general good of the public. Finally, there appears to be at least one improper redaction in the records that were eventually provided to me. The Prop G calendar for July 2022 contains redactions that were done, quote, on the basis of attorney-client privilege, and that's page 138, part 1 of the packet. And I just don't see how attorney-client privilege could possibly apply here. These redactions are on page 23, part 2 of the packet, and page 61, part 2 of the packet. There may be other improper redactions as well. It's hard for me to tell because the redactions were not keyed in line. In conclusion, I believe that the respondent is in violation of Code 6721 for unreasonable delay, 6725 failure to provide immediate response, 6729-5 failure to provide the calendar of a department head, and 672627 improper justification of withholding. And I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments. Is the respondent ready? And Ms. Leger is getting ready with the clock, and she will let you know when she is ready to start the timer.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Alberto, are you ready to begin?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, members of the task force. If you'd like to follow along with me, I'll be reading from my response that was provided to the task force. It should be page 13 of the agenda from attachment section 3. So on Thursday, December 22nd, 2022, San Francisco Animal Care and Control received the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force complaint number 22113. At no time did we know of this complaint. So though anonymous is stating that the complaint was filed on October 7th, 2022 or October 5th, 2022, we were not aware of this complaint. On Monday, September 26, 2022, we received the request for the immediate disclosure, requesting all of our directors' calendar information. ACC responded to the immediate disclosure request by the next business day on Tuesday, 9/27. In the initial response, 4 documents were provided to the requester, and we invoked an extension in order to consult with another department, referencing the San Francisco Admin Code Section 67.25b. In the initial response on 9/27, we informed the requester that we would provide the remaining records by Friday, 9/30, as a courtesy. Unfortunately, due to staff unexpectedly being out for medical reasons, our next response was not until October 5th. Due to the unexpected medical absence, the need to consult with another department, and the need to review each document for redaction, we completed the request on October 6th. The request was completed within 10 business days, where we provided 12 documents, which consisted of 1,255 pages. In regards to the alleged violations, 67.25, immediacy of response, the immediate disclosure request was received on 9/26 and initially responded to on 9/27. The full request was completed on 10/6. Again, the initial response on 9/27, we informed the requester that we would provide the remaining documents by Friday, 9/30 as a courtesy, but due to the staff being unexpectedly out for medical reasons, we were unable to do so. the additional documents were provided on 10/6. Withholding, and the next allegation is withholding kept to a minimum. No documents pertaining to the request were withheld. There were some documents that were redacted. Next, justification for withholding regarding the all justifications were provided. Justifications provided were the evidence code, personal privacy, private personnel records, attorney-client privilege, and protected health information. I understand that Anonymous also states that there are specific redactions regarding attorney-client privilege. Please note that as a city department, we have the ability to redact attorney-client privilege when we're requesting information and guidance from our council. 67.295, calendars of certain officials. Director Donahue's calendar is maintained and follows the appropriate guidelines of section 67.25-5. Calendars of certain officials, section A through E. Director Donahue's calendars contain all meeting dates, locations, appropriate attendees, and an agenda or statement of items discussed. All calendar information was provided to Anonymous after review for redaction. Information was provided on a rolling basis as the documents became available between 9/27 to 10/6. Since we understand that this request was filed by Anonymous, but reviewing the information, the email that Anonymous is tied to is linked to a member of the public, which we have worked with previously. And since 2020, we have provided this member of the public, or this member of the public has submitted 77 requests, and ACC has provided 1,788 documents consisting of 8,176 pages. We have made a good faith effort for this request and all other requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Wong. It seems clear. Oh, sorry. That was the end of the time. It seems clear that we have jurisdiction here. The question is, do we have jurisdiction? Do you have any questions for the petitioner or the respondent?
No, I do not.
Do you think that do you see a case for a violation that should be considered by the full task force?
For me, I think a consideration for 6721 for a timeliness in response should be considered. I think when I look through the packet myself, I think there are some redactions that are keyed by footnote in line. However, there are some that are not. And so I also am looking at a potential violation of 6726 for not keying each redaction by footnote. Haven't looked too closely at 6729.5. I don't think that was mentioned on the agenda. So I'm going to take a look now.
Okay. Was it 6729.5 or 6725.5? I
think the violation is 6729-5.
Okay, got it. I have a question for Anonymous, just for clarification and to make sure that we understand. Have you received and this has no bearing on forwarding it to the full task force, but have you received the documents you requested?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. But you did say that some of the redactions were not keyed properly. And I believe Member Wong echoed that concern. Is that correct?
Yeah, my concern is that they were not keyed properly, and also that some of them seem improper to me.
Okay. When you say some of them seem improper, this was because you said that you saw there were attorney-client privilege redactions on the calendar. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. Yeah, and I can point you to the specific pages if you need them.
Sure. Give us an example.
Yeah, so part 2 of the packet, page 23, and then same part 2, page 61. So page 23. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, so here it is. So page 23, it's this entry for Wednesday, July 20th. And so supposedly this is where Director Donahue was going between 9 and 5 p.m. and that's redacted out. And I think that the reason for that redaction was, I think the respondent said that was on the basis of attorney-client privilege. And so to me, that doesn't make sense. Why would it be on her calendar? I just don't understand it. And then same thing, same day, it's just the information is given in a different way on page 61, part 2 of the packet. So if you go to page 61, part 2, Wednesday, July 20th, same information is blocked out. And so that's what jumped out at me. There may be other, also then in addition to the question of like inline redactions, there's those 2 redactions that I'm concerned about.
Okay, Member Wong, it looks like you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question for the respondent. I'm wondering if you could point in the packet where you requested the extension and if you noted which department you would be consulting with.
We did not note the department that we were consulting with, but I believe that it was the IT department in order for us to get certain documents. In our initial response to so part 3, page 18, on Tuesday, 9/27/2022, on the bottom, it says, we're invoking an extension based on the need to consult with another department. And we state the government code, and we'll provide you the remaining document records by Friday, 9/30/2022.
Okay, thank you.
Can I put a point of clarification regarding the client attorney privilege?
Sure.
So because we are in the middle of certain TROs, temporary restraining orders, so that is likely the instance which was redacted because it's information regarding the those particular restraining orders.
And individuals were named in the section that was blacked out?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Member Wong.
Yeah, actually, so looking actually at the timeline on the same page, page 18 of part 3 of the packet, I think I'm going to retract my recommendation for finding a violation of timeliness, as the request was technically received on Monday, the 26th, although, well, if it was received on the 25th, which is when it was sent, then they should have responded on the 26th, technically.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was a Sunday.
yeah, exactly. So I'm looking, The 25th, the request was made.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Sunday.
Right.
The 26th is a Monday. Do we say business days?
Yes.
This is a good question, because if it were received on Saturday, it would not be responded to on Sunday.
No, but I think I would still expect it to be responded to on Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
My apologies. I didn't catch the entire conversation. This is Victor Young.
Yes.
If this is considered to be an immediate disclosure request,
Mm-hmm.
If it was received on Saturday, we don't mark it as received until Monday.
Okay.
Okay, so if it was received on Sunday, it's considered received on Monday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So then,
yeah,
go
in
ahead.
that case, I think for me, I primarily see a violation for not keying by redaction,
Mhm.
or keying redactions by footnote. I think the attorney-client privilege probably should be discussed amongst the full task force.
Mhm.
So maybe something we mention in our summary.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. But at this point, you're saying the IDR received even though the documents were not delivered within 24 hours, a response was made within 24 hours of Monday.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should mention 6729.5 as well, for the task force to consider.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think we find jurisdiction and then recommend looking at the particular without specifically recommending violations, saying these areas should be considered.
Yes, but
Okay.
I would actually recommend finding a violation of 6726.
Yeah, because that's a little more straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to articulate a motion?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I'll make a motion to find jurisdiction that these records are public, to forward to the full task force, and recommend finding a violation of 6726 for not keying each redaction by footnote.
And then to recommend, did you want to recommend?
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah. Recommend also considering a violation of 6729.29-5. And additionally considering, let's see.
Oh,
6729-5. What do you want to say about that? You just said-
Were related to Prop G calendars.
Okay.
And then you had said that the full task force should discuss the attorney-client invocation of attorney-client
Yeah,
privilege.
so we could actually say section 6727 for justification of withholding.
Mhm.
I'm looking at your wording on
Mhm.
6729-5. Do we want to say for violations related for not properly providing Prop G calendar entries? I mean, to say it's related to Prop G is kind of broad.
Yeah, I think it's more around properly maintaining Prop G calendars,
Mhm.
I think is what we want to say. I have thoughts on it, but this is not to get into the merits.
Right, exactly. I think the point is to flag these things for the full task force to discuss without going into the details ourselves.
No, I agree. I just wanted to be clear. Okay, and second will be Chair LaHood.
Yes. So moved by Member Wong, seconded by Chair LaHood.
Chair LaHood, okay. Shall I read it now so we can make sure what we have?
Yes, and then we'll call for public comment.
Moved by Member Wong, seconded by Chair LaHood, to find jurisdiction, the records are public, and forward to the task force, I recommend finding violations of 6726 for not keying each redaction, and recommend that the task force consider a violation of 6729-5 for related to not properly maintaining the proper G calendar, and 6727 for no justification for withholding.
I would actually say for not providing appropriate justification.
All right. Okay. I want to open up to public comment.
Yes, Mr. Young, could we open up this motion for public comment?
We only have one other person with us at this time. If you would like to make public comment, if you can press *3 or use the application or raise your hand, it would be appreciated if you'd like to make public comment. I'll give you a moment. It does not appear to be any request for public comment on this matter.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Leger, please call the vote.
Member Wong.
Aye.
Member Wong, aye. Chair LaHood.
Aye.
Chair LaHood, aye. Member Wolf, absent.
Okay, I want to thank both the petitioner and the respondent for participating this evening. Ms. Leger will follow up with you and let you know when this is going to be scheduled for the full task force. If you have any questions between now and then, please feel free to reach out to her, or if you have any additional documents that should be added to the file before this is heard before the full task force, please send them to her as well.
Yeah, send them the sooner the better.
Yep.
That way, if there are any questions, we can address them before I actually have to upload the agenda packet.
Exactly. So thank you. And I believe that is it, because we have gone through everything. We went through everything else on the agenda when we moved things around. So please call the final item.
Item number 10, adjournment. Ladies, what time do you have?
I have 6:40 p.m.
Same.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned.